Good morning, everyone. What a great day to be here. Thanks to everybody that dedicated their time and effort to make this event possible. I appreciate the opportunity to share with you a few of my life experiences, both with our education system and my recent entrance into the workforce. I may be a new face to some of you, so let me just take a second to introduce myself. My name is Jennifer. I'm 24 years old, and I have lived in Oceanside for 16 years. I was born and raised in California, and I am a product of the Oceanside Unified School District. I graduated from El Camino High School in 2005, and with the help of my parents, I was able to enroll at the University of Redlands. I graduated from the University of Redlands on the 3.5-year plan with a bachelor's degree in physics and a minor in mathematics that I fully blame on my high school physics teacher, and I've made sure he knows it. I completed my college courses at the end of the fall semester in December of 2008, and I had to wait until the end of spring before I could participate in the commencement activities with the rest of my class. Between December 2008 and the moment I got to walk across the stage to formally accept my diploma, I had been engaged in a completely fruitless search for employment. I submitted countless resumes and applications in a maniacal daily effort to find the job that I had been assured would be mine with a degree. I did the hard work and I would be rewarded, but it's not that easy. After graduating from Redlands, I moved home and began math and physics tutoring to help earn some extra cash. The entire spring semester came and went, and I celebrated my graduation with friends and family. The sobering truth about what it takes to pay for and earn a degree hit me really hard after my graduation party. My first student loan payment was due, and I had no job, no positive prospects for employment, and no income. My only option was to use the money I received for graduation gifts and apply it towards my first student loan payment. It took both of my parents and me 6 months of intensive full-time searching to find my job. I consider this time frame the perfect Sally Mae timing because that's exactly when the payments needed to start being paid back. From that point forward, I have been able to pay them on time every month, and to piggyback a little bit on the previously discussed making ends meet, every month 30% of my monthly income goes straight to Sally Mae and the Department of Education. For reference, I pay more for my student loans than I pay for rent and utilities combined. And I will continue to do so until I am about 40. Oh. I am sharing this information with you today because I fell in the very middle of the pack when it came to requesting and receiving financial aid. I grew up here in Oceanside in the Rancho Del Oro community, and my parents made enough money to make us completely ineligible for public funding assistance. But the cost of college was still prohibitively expensive for my family, so we decided that my education would be paid with the assistance of student loans, and we would work out the living expenses together. Please keep in mind that I graduated in high school in 2005 as I share these next two facts. In California, attending a UC school this fall will cost a freshman 2 times what it cost in 2004. For a student enrolling at a CSU campus, it will cost 2 times what it cost in just 2007. That should scare you, considering that it's taking students more than 4 years to graduate. For a student enrolling as a freshman in 2007, they will pay twice as much to enroll this fall than they did their first year. We are entering a very scary time for education. Historically speaking, the concept of education has been treated as a public good. It is becoming more and more clear that a college education will no longer be something that is available to most students from any walk of life. Public education is consistently being treated and transformed into an exclusively expensive, privatized industry, and unless we're honest with ourselves about the role it plays building our society, our population, and our nation's ability to compete on a global scale, we will have a grossly undereducated population. It cannot compete on the international stage, much less protect themselves from any predatory force or policy at home. In order to put Americans back to work, we need to begin with an educated, involved, informed, useful population. Such a population is also required to ensure that our government runs the way it was designed to. We have to be honest about the state of our education system and where it needs to fit in our culture. But I'll come back to all of that. I want to talk a little bit about what having a job actually means for someone my age. It means more than just a paycheck. It means health insurance, it means a regular daily schedule, it means accountability, responsibility. Most of the time, it means financial independence. It provides opportunity, experience, and it builds confidence. When you take a capable, successful, confident person and enable them and congratulate them all the way through 16 years of education, most likely with some sort of debt upon graduation, only to drop them in an economy where there are little to no opportunities or hiring managers that don't want any currently unemployed people to apply, you've stunted their growth as a perfectly employable person. You've given a perfectly healthy, ambitious mind no outlet. Eventually, it becomes a deeper personal issue because it doesn't make any sense. These types of issues have dire consequences when they're propagated out at the national level to millions of people. If we do not make job creation a serious priority, we are literally fostering an entire generation of citizens ready and willing to work with no companies ready and willing to hire. It's as if we've mastered the art of building cars and paving roads, but there's no one putting gas in the tank. There are a few things we need to do to get back on track today. I would like to discuss what I believe are our top 3. Number 1, our most recent graduates, high school, college, vocational, technical school, it doesn't really matter, but our most recent graduates are our absolute best problem solvers, and we need to create a culture where today's students are inspired, excited, and given the opportunity to solve both today's and tomorrow's problems. I call this the NASA effect, and here's why. At the time that Apollo 11 safely parachuted into the Pacific Ocean on July 24, 1969, the average age of the people in the control room was 28 years old. The average age at NASA now is 47. According to NASA's public affairs site, the average hire in 2009 was 41 years old. Why? I believe that the way to face off this NASA effect is not to expect our institutions to change their ways, but to empower our young people. A couple of years ago, I toured NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory Research Center with a group of 9 to 12-year-old girls. It was part of a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics summer camp called Minds for Design. If you asked these girls what the acronym JPL meant at the beginning of the camp, they would have had no clue what you were talking about. But by the end of their session, not only did they knew what went on inside JPL's walls, and it was on their radar as a future career option. It became part of their world. The reason why this is so important is simple. The children of today do not know what they're capable of, what their options are, or what they may be passionate about unless they're given the opportunity to expand their horizons. If we can empower our students from a very young age, equip them with the tools to succeed, and provide the opportunities to channel their creativity into innovation, they will undoubtedly rise to the occasion as the world's best and brightest. We must give them the chance to do so and the companies to hire them, which leads me to my next priority. Number 2, American corporations must stop outsourcing our jobs. The rate that American corporations are laying off their own citizens only to hire abroad or hire through a third party to avoid paying a living wage is un-American. The cost and standard of living that we have all become accustomed to in this country is not an excuse for a company to hire outside our borders. It's completely irresponsible. I call this problem the cold shoulder. We have some of the greatest corporations in the world in this country. But in a culture saturated with iPads, smartphones, tablets, and computer screens, our world is virtually flat. Outsourcing a job to save money and protect profit margins is inherently the same as turning a cold shoulder to the American worker. Finding a place where workers can be paid less and labor protections are not as established seems like it could be almost more of a moral issue than a business decision. You would think that American companies would take responsibility for American citizens, right? What good would it be to have a corporation in the United States if the citizens are not here to care and maintain it? This leads me to my next point. Number 3, in order to keep any employee a happy, healthy, contributing member of our society, our corporations need to start taking responsibility for the well-being of every single person that relies on them for a living. When employees are treated like real people with real families, certain benefits like health, dental, and vision insurance are no-brainers. If you expect to hire a college-educated person, perhaps you should consider offering tuition reimbursement as part of their compensation package. If one expects to hire and retain a healthy individual, health insurance is a perfectly reasonable benefit. Walmart. Here's a fun fact about Walmart. Walmart currently employs 1% of the entire working population in the United States. Out of every single person in this country with a job, 1% of them works for Walmart. For a single person household, Walmart provides an annual salary that is basically at the poverty line with no benefits. Is that where the standard for American workers is set? Walmart is the biggest private employer in the world with over 2 million employees. We must start to demand that they step up to take the responsibility of being such an international economic force. It's time for our businesses to treat their staff like people and not tools to maintain their profit margins. But again, this is an instance where we cannot expect humongous institutions to change their ways. We must empower each other. Only by working together and collectively agreeing that there is a standard at which we deserve to be treated can we change these types of practices. It's going to take passion and organization and information and participation to make these ideas a reality, and it's possible. The solutions to these issues do not require a huge amount of money, they require commitment. I firmly believe that education, corporate responsibility, and workers' rights are a place where we can find common ground with any voter, any citizen, both adults and children, and begin a conversation about getting involved. Focusing on the education of our children and employment of our citizens today will ensure our success in the future locally, nationally, and worldwide. Thanks for your time and your personal commitment to be a contributor in the changes that will shape tomorrow's world. Woo!